are some really basic questions I want you to ask yourself, because by now I've already made the assumption that you think you're over here, and I hope you are, because I want you to be in business for yourself. I want you to learn how to start and grow a business so you can get to this place you want to go. But we're not there yet. We're not ready to start yet. I want you to ask a few more questions of yourself, and I want you to be really, really honest. Nobody else needs to know. You just need to be able to think your way through this. Number one, is there really a need for your product? Is there really a customer base for what it is you're doing? I mean, we can be wildly in love with an idea and think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but if the consuming public isn't ready for it, if they don't want it, if they don't like it, if they don't share our passion, if they don't see what we see in it, then quite frankly, maybe not yet or not now. So think about that. Is there really a need for your product? 2, do you have enough money? Now, you don't need a lot of money to start a business, and I've started all of mine with nothing, but then I'm a little different than some other people too. I am willing to know that if I don't have any money and I want to go create a business, I'll figure out how to get the money. Well, I realize that does separate me from some of the people. I'm not going to try and act modest about it. It just won't happen to be one of my skill sets. It happens to be one of my attributes. And I accept that and I honor it. But I know not everybody has that one. So some of you will need to know you do have enough money to get started. You do have enough money saved up. You've thought about what it means to be in business. Because when you get in business, you're not just risking yourself and your future and your career. Almost always, you take somebody with you. Almost always we're dealing with our loved ones, we're dealing with our family, we're dealing with our relatives, we're dealing with the people around us. And sometimes when we start a business and we're not really ready to start yet, and the business goes bad and the financial ramifications can be pretty severe, they impact a lot of people. So I want you to be honest about question number 2. Are you ready financially to do it? And that means you need to think about, how much money do I need to have saved up? How much money do I need to have borrowed? How much money do I need to have as a line of credit with a lending institution or an investor or somebody? How much cash capital do I have to have available before I quit my job to go start this thing? Because what if it doesn't work as fast as I want it to? What if the customers don't come as quick as I want them to? What if it isn't as profitable as I thought? What if the expenses are more than I thought they were going to be? Well, you need to have enough reserve to not run out and then have to retreat and go back into the workforce working for somebody else again. So ask and answer this question before you start. And then number 3, and this is just one that's very personal to me and I want it to be important to you. Sit down and talk to your family before you do this. Before you start any business, I want you to have the support and encouragement of the people around you. Now, remember I said you have to be able to get past no? Well, sometimes no is going to come from them too. So you have to think about how far do you go with this proposition I'm putting in front of you. But I want you to have had the conversation. I want you to have talked about them. Because see, you're not just dealing with your life, you're dealing with their life too. When you get in business, you take people with you on the way up, but you can take people with you on the way down. So even though we think we're cowboys and we think we're mavericks and we think we're entrepreneurs and we think it's all about us and we're it and we're the captain of the ship, well, some of those words may even be true, but there's always a crew aboard the ship. There's always people that are going to go down with the ship with you if the ship goes down. And we have an obligation, we have a fiduciary duty, a stewardship duty for the people in our life, that we shouldn't be cavalier about their life. And so if their life is such that they need the security of you having a regular job, if they're not ready to commit to the risk that are going to be involved in going into business, then I want you to be thoughtful about this. And I want you to at least have had the conversation. Now, the answer is different. The answer is what you and they come up with. And I'm not going to speak for you or to you on that point, because I don't care the answer as long as you've been thoughtful about the question. And if you pose the question properly, you'll know what to do with this. And then the 4th step. Confident of yourself or your idea yet? Now there's things you can do. I teach self-esteem. I teach people how to grow. I teach people how to become confident. If you're not there yet with you and or your business idea, then maybe you're really not ready yet. And maybe you had to slow down the start process. And there's no penalty to slowing down. There's no penalty to not starting when you're not prepared. It would be stupid to begin something you're not ready to finish in any endeavor. I don't care if it's a race or a contest or anything. I mean, think about anything in life. Would you really start if you weren't ready to finish? No, that'd be dumb. Well, so too here in business. It's dumb to start until you know what you think is going to happen and how you think you're going to do it and what you think it's going to take to accomplish it. And if you haven't figured that part out yet, that's okay. We still have time. We can spend more time now being thoughtful about the things we now know we don't know. Because knowing what you don't know is a wonderful thing. And saying, okay, good. Then I learned that I have to go do some more research. I've got to spend some more time thinking about this. And I don't want you to get locked up in analysis paralysis where you spend the rest of your life thinking about it. But I want you to make sure that you feel like you're ready before you start. Because if you've got misgivings already, when things get rough, when things get hard, when all of a sudden things don't work the way you want them to, it gets real lonely out there being in business for yourself. Because mostly you feel like you're in business by yourself. So if you're still with me and you still want to go forward, now we're going to get to the good stuff.